What's going on, everybody? It's the observant lineman Uche Nwaneri, NFL vet, NFL commentator, and today, it looks like the worst organization in football has finally reached rock bottom. The Washington Redskins have fired Jay Gruden. And is it a surprise to any of us? I don't think so. Let's look at the article. It says, in Washington, it's never really about the football. Coach Jay Gruden, choking on his words, can't even say his name. Coach Jay Gruden was fired Monday morning after 5 full seasons of mediocrity. And make no mistake, it's been mediocre out there. And an 0-5 start in Washington. He reportedly summoned to the team headquarters at 5 a.m. Firing squad at dawn. They got him as soon as he woke up. He had a text message. We need to see you in the front office. He knew what time it was. Maximum firing squad at dawn effect after weeks of speculation and what sure looked like a WikiLeaks style effort to humiliate him on his way out the door. Now, I don't so much agree with that, man. Like, I think you really gotta give a coach his respect in the times when you're gonna be letting him go and you gotta fire somebody, because like everybody, they're out there doing what they can. They're out there doing trying as hard as they can to give the team an opportunity to be successful. Maybe it's just that his style of coaching, his preferred way of managing a team and his strategies just aren't working for the roster that he has. And at the end of the day, you're already making him own up to that and be accountable to that by firing him. So, allow him some decency, allow him some respect on the way out the door. I mean, that to me, that says a lot about the organization itself and how they handle their players and their coaches when they're having to let them go. Team president Bruce Allen gave a rare and uninformative press conference Monday in the wake of Gruden's firing. Allen stressed repeatedly how hard everyone in the organization is working, from coaches to scouts to team senior vice president Doug Williams. Allen even suggested that the press could look at Williams' time card. He said the team culture is actually damn good and emphasized that everyone in Washington cares about winning, including himself. The pieces are here for a winning team. Debatable. We have to put them in the right place and believe in each other and keep fighting for our goal. In truth, the pieces are not here. Interim head coach Bill Callahan takes over a directionless team with a bloated payroll and limited talent. And, actually look at this and, there have been a lot of missteps in how the Redskins have handled their organization and a lot of finger pointing. But to me, it all comes down to Dan Snyder. I think Dan Snyder is the worst owner in football. This guy is just looking to make headlines with people that he signs. He's not doing necessarily what's best for the team on the field. He's doing what's best for the organization in the newspapers. And when you're trying to do that, when you're trying to make these sexy signings, and you're not actually looking at the roster you have and being, and critiquing it from the standpoint of, the strengths of the team versus the weaknesses, this is what you end up with. And, they've been in a perpetual motion of mediocrity and, lower tier football since he took over as the owner of the team in 1999. So I'm not surprised that we're yet again looking at another situation where they have to get a new head coach or a new quarterback or, a new defensive back or whatever it may be, because they just have not run this team and just have not set themselves up to be successful in any way, shape, or form. And that's just something that, if you sit back and look at it, the organizations that win don't do these type of things. The organizations that are constantly at the top tier of the league, they have a lot of consistency in how they do things, regardless of who's who's on the team, regardless of who's hired as a coach, they operate in a certain way, and that's just not something you're getting here from these Redskins. But let me look through here and see what else we got. The Redskins are a perpetual motion machine of institutionalized dysfunction, a self-sustaining source of front office machination and backroom intrigue that also, almost by accident, produces a football-like entertainment product every autumn. That's harsh. The cycle has been in motion since 1999. Obviously, like I just said, since Snyder purchased the team, he's been mismanaging it from the get-go, and I just don't see this firing as being something that's really going to change the fortunes of this team over the next few years. They're just going to need to do some cleaning of house, and if they can't get it right on the next go, Snyder might need to think about selling the team and get somebody in there who can. So we all kind of saw this coming with Jay Gruden. He hasn't had a great record as a coach, but at the same time, I wouldn't put it all on his back because they just don't have the pieces in place to really be a contender. But let's read on here. It says, but all of the smart decision makers have either moved on or been purged, leaving Snyder and Allen to rule a smoldering empire with problems that extend well beyond this season. Quarterback Alex Smith, still hobbling after suffering one of the most gruesome injuries in NFL history last year, will cost the team $21 million in cap space next year. His contract guarantees make him more expensive to cut than keep. No one begrudges Smith some guaranteed dough after what he went through, but his contract was a massive miscalculation by Allen when he was desperate for a solution to the annual Kirk Cousins fiscal dilemma. And again, Kirk Cousins, where is he right now? In Minnesota. What is he doing out there? Not much. Left tackle Trent Williams, the best player on the payroll, refuses to play for the team. I mean, the best player don't even want to play. He's not even shown up. He hasn't shown up to anything since the season started, since camp started. Cornerback Josh Norman, last seen being used as a kindling by Julian Edelman on Sunday, eats up $14 million in cap space this year and is scheduled to occupy another $15 million next year. Norman was signed on what seemed like a whim by Allen in 2016, just as safety Landon Collins was signed for a reported 6 years and $84 million this offseason, despite the team's cap issues and more pressing needs at other positions. Washington has a total of $161 million in cap space already earmarked for 2020. Most of it for players unlikely to play a single snap for them, Smith, Williams, or veterans with no place on a rebuilding team, Norman, Vernon Davis, and Jordan Reed. So that pretty much goes to show that this is a organization that is in complete dysfunction, that is completely scatterbrained about what it wants to be and how it wants to get there. And firing a head coach doesn't seem to be anything that's really going to have an effect on how things are playing out for this franchise, at least for the next 2 seasons. And, again, it'll be pretty hard to get a coach in there unless you give them full control over picking players, over drafting, over setting their coaching staff, and pretty much being the head of football operations, because nobody is going to take a role as a head coach in an organization where they are going to be on the chopping block each and every season, especially with the kind of team that they have right now. They're going to have to rebuild this team, and it's going to take 5 years to do that. So, everyone's talking about a coach like Mike Tomlin. Yeah, Mike Tomlin could be an excellent choice for the Redskins, but again, he's still going to have to rebuild this team from the ground up, and that's going to take at least 2 to 3 seasons for a good coach to do. So we'll see we'll see how it plays out. I don't expect that we'll be hearing much of anything about the Redskins making any progress as a team anytime soon. So for right now, Jay Gruden's gone, but the problem still persists for this franchise. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to The Observant Lineman. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/TheObservantLineman. I'm Uche Nwaneri. I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Peace.